This Super Bowl was definitely one of the greatest, if not the greatest Super Bowl of all time. It's definitely the greatest comeback in NFL history, or at least in Super Bowl history. I would put it over the Bills' comeback just because this Super Bowl was much more meaningful than the Bills' divisional run. That Bills comeback was great, but this one was just better. Now, just to get some simple stuff out of the way, Tom Brady right now is around Michael Jordan status. I know Skip Bayless says he's better than Michael Jordan. I know some people are saying that, well, he's not there yet. He will have to win six more. He's somewhere around there. And basically, the reason why he had so much success is one, he could play in any situation, and two, he can play in any system. Simple as that. Now, when it came to the Falcons started off the game very well, I would say. By the second quarter, they really started to get hot, and they really exploited New England's lack of athleticism on defense. I saw a lot of times Malcolm Butler against Taylor Gabriel, who's basically he's a good third wide receiver. He's not like the greatest in the world, but he made a nice move on Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler couldn't move around. I know later on in the game, Rom Ninkovich really stumbled. I'm not sure it's anything with the field, though. I just think that Atlanta just has so much athleticism on the offensive side of the ball. Same as the defensive side of the ball. They're definitely a very disciplined defense that's aggressive and all that, but they're gonna have to work on situations and just overall just being a smarter player. Now, when it came to the second quarter, the Patriots obviously looked like they were out of it, obviously. But I think some people were saying that they weren't ruling out the Patriots with it because obviously they made great comebacks before. And the Patriots really got disrupted. I feel as if that New England really tried to go to Edelman, which is pretty obvious. And Robert Alford did a really good job on Edelman. He had really nice presses and all that, and Edelman was off with his routes and all that. They did a good job about bumping him, and Tom Brady was relying too much on the timing when it came to accuracy, more so than improvisation, and that really disrupted it. And Edelman obviously he made that one miraculous catch, which was very good, but he doesn't have the best hands in the world and all of that. But other than that, though, that was something that really got the Falcons really in that game. And then obviously the pick six helped. But the Falcons only scored 21 points on offense. That's below their season average, and they should have done so much more. They should have just kept on burying the Patriots. And instead, I felt like they pulled off the trigger. I also believe that Bill Belichick baited them into running the football. Bill Belichick knew that they didn't have Jamie Collins anymore with the linebackers, and they decided, well, let's just toss it to the left or right, and it really worked later on, early and late on in the game. I felt as if though they should have used them more as receivers and all of that, and I think that would have been much better. It would have helped during some of the sacks that Matt Ryan took, just some quicker pass plays and all that. Now, when it comes to Matt Ryan, I'm not changing my opinion on him whatsoever. I still think he choked, but it's not the worst choke in the world, I would say. There were some times where he took that one fumble, which basically turned the game around. By that point, people knew New England was back into it. And the fact is, he was hit on his non-blind side, so his right side, obviously. And by that point, just hold on to the ball because even if you just take a sack on the play, if you punt it to New England will simply will be more likely to have worse field position, and that's obviously a lot better. And that was just a mistake that they just couldn't do. That brought New England back in the game. And I really felt as if that Matt Ryan he just felt a little bit too shy. I really didn't think he made too many great plays in the game. And yes, you can look at the QBR, you can look at the stats. He still lost the game. He really didn't do all that much. Also about the Falcons' blunder was time of possession. 21 minutes. 21 minutes. And they went to overtime. Obviously, they never got the ball in overtime, but that's still like very unacceptable. And I really felt as if that Bill Belichick knew that defensively they're not going to be able to just shut them down. They just felt like let's just let them kind of do some bend but don't break a little bit. And obviously, when you come to Tom Brady's comeback and all that, they started hot in the third and all that. They had a nice punt return. And when it came to special teams, New England was definitely trying to exploit them on special teams, and they did a very good job of it. When it came to it, it was New England won the field position battle. I know early on the Falcons were able to drive down the field and then pinch New England within their own territory, and then New England struggled to drive here and there. They had some good pass rush there, definitely some good coverage because the Falcons were able to play some man, but New England definitely exploited them where the field position was just very bad for the Falcons. It was going to the Patriots' favor more so than the Falcons. And that really played a role and really helped revive New England. That was a big concept right there. And also, when you looked at James White obviously had a very good game. Some people argue that he was going to be the Super Bowl MVP. I thought he was going to be the Super Bowl MVP. But apparently, well, obviously, I mean, Tom Brady still had a very good game and all that. So he basically got it. And he was clutch. He went through a lot of adversity in that game. So James White definitely helped. And I also thought Amendola really helped. Amendola is your scrubby version of Edelman. He's basically worse than Edelman at everything except for catching. Yes, I know the Edelman catch was miraculous, but those double catches aren't exactly impressive. And when you look at Jimmy Fallon on the show, the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Edelman admitted it was like 70% luck. That was a lucky play right there. And he didn't even run that good of a route. And that's why Edelman only got 5 catches. So Amendola, obviously, he's still that kind of like not as good version of Edelman, but the better hands there definitely helped. And then, obviously, they use Hogan and Mitchell, and they do have some pretty good hands, and that helps spread the ball around. And a lot of times, the Falcons early on in the game were doing a really good job spreading the ball around from anywhere from their fullback to their standing wide receiver, Julio Jones, who, in my opinion, is probably the best receiver in the league, who can be used as such a good diversion. That was something about the Falcons that used them a lot, and New England obviously paid a lot of attention to him throughout the game. They never stepped off of that, and that really helped. And I know Julio definitely made some big catches there, but they were to the sideline, and that really helped in the time possession game. So the Atlanta Falcons really did not have the ball that much because a lot of clock was stopped and all that, and Bill Belichick was letting them stop the clock. And Matt Ryan, Dan Quinn, just bit the bullet, and they basically didn't score points. The last time they scored anything was halfway through the third quarter. So for 20 or more minutes, they didn't score, and this is supposed to be the best offense in the NFL. And that definitely helped revive New England right there. And I thought when it came to the pressure and all that, the Falcons and the Patriots were bringing on pressure all game long when it came to the pass rush and all that. And even in the later stages of the game, it really helped. I know eventually, once they started getting hot, the momentum was on New England. And the fact that the Falcons are a really good tempo team, that they were too reliant on it, and the Patriots exploited that. And so that was a big deal right there. And a lot of things just went downhill after that Matt Ryan fumble, and everything just got revived, basically. Obviously, they had the great 2-point conversion where they basically did a direct snap wildcat to James White. Another great play by him. Obviously, they had a nice wide receiver screen to Damian Dole, who fought his way forward. And obviously ended the game with a nice call with the toss to James White. Because I feel as if that they thought maybe Brady was maybe going to sneak it in because they're stacked the wide receivers on the other side. They thought, let's force them to play zone. So because the Patriots really like to go against zone over man. That's what they prefer. And they obviously won the Super Bowl without Rob Gronkowski. So still an impressive performance and all that. And overall, when it comes to this game and whatnot, I felt it was really good for the NFL because the NFL season wasn't really all that great. And I feel like there's just so many bad teams. And Matt Ryan, you got to do more in the big moment. you have this high vertical offense and you only score 21 points offensively. That's not bad, but you got to keep on. If you're going to bury the Patriots, you got to consistently bury them. The Patriots, it's rare for them to get blown out. It's very rare. And they just didn't have it, and it was just bad. It was very bad on their part. I was just thinking on that one of their last drives of the game, probably their second to last one, where Matt Ryan took a sack. Obviously, there was a holding call by Jake Matthews, and then they try to go into field goal. They still don't get it. And then their next drive, they don't do anything. And they have 57 seconds left. I mean, at least do something with it. At least you can probably get into field goal range. I mean, the amount of speed on that offense, it's insane. And to a certain degree, there's a big argument whether this is more of a choke versus a win by the Patriots. So Falcons lost it more so than the Patriots won. And I would say it's a little bit of both. I look at the Falcons and obviously I always looked at Matt Ryan as a little bit of a choke artist, and that's what he basically did right there. And obviously the Falcons defense had to keep on trying to press, and they try to keep on doing. But since they're constantly on the field, it really, really did not help the Falcons at all. It hurt them. It hurt them. And the Patriots just kind of played through the game, and they still won it. And the best ever, the second best one, in my opinion, when it comes to Brady, and this was not his best Super Bowl ever. My opinion, his best Super Bowl ever was the 2014 Super Bowl, where he faced an all-time defense and had a much, obviously the span of the comeback obviously wasn't as large, but I thought Brady played a lot better. And this one was obviously probably his greatest comeback that he's ever had. And that's the difference between Tom Brady and Matt Ryan, is Tom Brady can win in any situation. Matt Ryan can win in a couple. And when I look at that, is Falcons just kind of gave up. They just tapped out. And I think the Patriots just out-toughened them in that one. And this Patriots team, it's not even an all-time great team. I still look at the 2014 team as better. And I feel if the 2016 New England Patriots versus the 2014 Patriots were in a matchup against each other, 2014 Patriots would win that game. And the Falcons, obviously, they had a good showing first, but there's something called finishing a football game, and they simply did not do that.